and thanks for joining me. We're out on Goldie the BSA Goldstar, and we're having a little evening run up to Sherburn and Elmet to visit the Motorist. This is a place for petrol heads. I've never been before, though I've seen it on television. If you watch Bangers and Cash, you'll have seen it on the Restoring Classics series, because it's one of the garages they use to restore some of the vehicles. I'll start the ride as we're passing through Monk Fryston on the A63. We're going to turn right here and take the back lane up towards South Milford. This little lane's just cut a corner off, and we're going to turn right here onto the A162 that heads up to Tadcaster. It's a route I've used quite a few times now, because Eddie's Moto are at Tadcaster, who are both BSA and Royal Enfield main dealer, so I bought Goldie and Harold the Himalayan from them. I use them for servicing. The A162 bypasses South Milford, so I'm not actually going to pass through, but it's a pretty old village. It's first recorded in the year 963, and it takes its name from a mill that was sited at a ford that crossed the Mill Dyke, just to the north edge of the village. The A162 also bypasses Sherburn and Elmet. That's over to our left. We've just had a short hop up the main road behind that Eddie Stobart lorry. If we turned left here, it would take us through Sherburn and out to Squire's Cafe, the well-known biker meeting place. But we're turning right again to take the B1222, heading towards Corwood and Escrick. As we go on here, we've got a huge industrial estate on the right. It's got names like Hurricane Way and Aviation Road. That's because it's the site of a former RAF station and Ministry of Aircraft production factory. There's been an airfield here since the 1920s, but in 1940 the RAF took over. In the same year, Blackburn Aircraft set up a factory here manufacturing Fairy Swordfish aircraft. These are biplane torpedo bombers and had the nickname Stringback. They were extensively used by the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy right through the Second World War for hunting enemy submarines and ships, and carried a single torpedo underneath. 1,699 were produced here during the war. In 1942, the Airborne Forces Experimental Establishment also moved here. They were responsible for developing different ways of delivering troops and supplies to the war zones by glider, parachute and any other means they could. The gliders and stuff used on and after D-Day to get the Allied forces and its supplies over to France may well have been tested and developed here. The runway's still here, and it's in use for private small aircraft. We're turning right now to head round the other side of the airfield runway. Here we are at the Motorist. They do have a lot of regular events on, but it's quite quiet here this evening. So, what is the Motorist? Well, it's a garage that specialises in classic and vintage vehicles as well as modern stuff. They do repairs and restorations and have a body and paint shop. There's a large restaurant, a bar and a cafe. There's even a shop that sells motor spares and memorabilia. There's motoring stuff all over and some lovely cars in amongst the displays. That's a 1966 Mark I Ford Lotus Cortina on top of the shelving. The big horse statue made out of car parts and tools, that's quite impressive. That's a 1983 Ford Fiesta XR2 up there. And here's a lovely 1932 Elvis. Although it's quite a nice evening, it is quite late in the year, so not many folk are out and about. This custom Harley that turned up was nice though. Very minimalist and probably very loud with those tiny pipes, though I didn't actually hear it running before I left. They do have a lot of regular day and evening meets for both cars and bikes, and it's well worth a visit. Anyway, time for me to head home now. Passing through Campbellsforth on the A1041 here, that's the Black Dog Inn we've just passed on the right. They used to have regular bike nights at one bit, but I haven't seen any advertised for a long time. Carlton next, and Carlton Towers on the left as we leave the village. We're just about to cross over the River Aire, and the little lane to the left here would take us down to where the old bridge stood. The old one was a toll bridge, and it's become very expensive to use, and it was totally inadequate for the motorised traffic using it at the time. This new one was opened in 1928. If you look over to the east as we cross it, the old stone pillars for the toll bridge are still there. I remember quite some years ago now, the new bridge had to be closed for a long period for repairs, and they erected a temporary sort of bailey type bridge on the stone columns of the old toll bridge to keep the road open. So I have actually ridden over it. Once over the bridge it's down into Snaith. We keep on the A1041 and follow it round to head towards Thorn. Through East Cowick now, then onto the A614.
That's the M62 we've just passed over. Then we've got the two bridges that take us over, first the air and colder navigation, and then the Dutch River, which of course is the River Don. We're turning off the A614 to go over the Jubilee Bridge, heading round back way through Fish Lake. The sun's just setting over in the west and giving us a lovely sky. As we ride down the lane towards the village, there's broken glimpses of the sunset through the trees. That's been a nice sight, but as I make the last turn into Fish Lake, the low autumn sun's straight into my eyes. The GoPro manages okay, but I can't see a thing here, and I put my hand up to shade my eyes. We're in a 30 limit here, and that's what I'm doing, but this idiot on the quad thinks it doesn't apply to him, and I'm sure he can't see either. Doesn't look like he's even got number plates on, so probably totally illegal, and riding like that is going to end up killing some poor sod. Anyway, apart from that, it's been a lovely little run out, but I'm nearly home now, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope you've enjoyed today's little trip. Don't forget to leave a like, if in fact you have. Leave a comment, so I always try to answer them. And if you want to watch more of my ramblings, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. So, hope you can join me again, and cheers for now.